We're recording, Phil.
Okay, great. I'm going now on the record. I'm calling to order the meeting of the Chesapeake Beach Ethics Commission at 1:18 p.m. on September 11th, 2020. Let's see, would each of the people in attendance identify himself or herself?
This is Mike Linson, Bigler.
Okay,
This is Ingrid Lamb.
okay,
Fred Sussman, counsel to the commission.
okay.
Sharon Home, secretary to the commission.
And we have a member of the public.
I guess I would be a member of public, Randy Getman.
Okay. Okay, great. Next thing on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance, which we might all want to say, remembering 19 years ago. Pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the
United
United
States
States
of
America.
and
and
to
to
the
the republic
For
for
which
which it stands,
one nation,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty
free and
and justice for all.
for all.
all. Okay. Thank you. Has everyone reviewed the, pardon? Has everyone reviewed the minutes of the August 6th meeting?
Yes.
Does anyone have any improvements or changes or challenges?
No.
No.
All right, without objection, they're approved. Thank you. All right, we have, next is review of disclosures of former officials. And that would be, I believe we have to approve the exit disclosure of Mr. Cumbo. I've reviewed it. I don't see anything missing. So does anyone have any comments on it?
It looks good to me, Phil.
It's fine.
Okay, all in favor of approving Mr. Cumbo's exit disclosures indicate by saying aye.
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 Passed. All right, review of disclosures of candidates for election. And on this, I want to read into the record that section 2532B3 of the ordinance says that the commission shall inform the Board of Elections of any case in which the financial disclosures of a candidate were facially incomplete or defective, and provide copies of any correspondence with the candidate regarding the matter. So that's what we have to do. Now, almost, with one exception, the incumbent candidate simply submitted copies of their April 2020 disclosures. So we've already approved them. And so I don't think we have to approve them again. There's nothing facially incomplete. We have, I'm sorry, I'm going to confuse. Who's Mr. Evans? Is he a member of the, oh,
No, he's new.
he's new. Okay, so that's a new one. That's all right. So the
And Kersey's new.
And Kersey.
Jonathan Evans was on planning and zoning, so he had submitted to you, but it was a different type of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that. And yeah, that was different. All right. then
So
we
I had him resubmit a one for candidacy.
Yeah, good. That takes care of that question. And then, sorry, so we have Johnson, Evans, Kersey, and Cumbo. For some reason, Mahoney submitted a new disclosure. Does everyone actually look at that? See if
did.
it,
I did.
okay. Good.
It-
All right,
it
well, let's
looks
start
fine.
with it.
It looks good.
Okay, on its face, it is essentially complete and not defective. So all those in favor of finding the Mahoney Declaration to be acceptable for purposes of this pre-election review indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed indicate by saying no. They know the ayes have it. All right, the next one is Cumbo's disclosure of September 4th, 2020. Does anyone see any facial incompleteness or defects?
No.
No.
All right, all in favor of approving the Cumbo
Yes,
disclosure?
I
Yes, go
did
ahead.
have one, I had one question. I'm not sure. On page 7 of his disclosure, he indicates that he's a trustee for various entities. And then in the addendum, he indicates that 2 of those, MML and LGIT, he finished up in May of 2019. And then Bob Monroe is as current. What is that? I mean, I guess that's a guy, but
Tell me again what page?
page 7, the employment with or interest in entities doing business with town of Chesapeake Beach.
Oh, page 7, I'm sorry.
I guess
Okay.
I didn't look, but evidently Bob Monroe must be doing something with the town.
MML is Maryland Municipal League.
Yep. And he indicates that, those 2 he ceased to be trustees with them in May of 2019. That's
Oh,
on the continuation sheet on page 14. But then it says Bob Monroe, 2008 to present.
Yeah.
What is that?
Not that I know for sure, but he could be the webmaster for his web page, maybe. I can't be for sure, but that's the only thing I can.
So Monroe is providing the services to Cumbo, though, isn't he? It's not the other way around.
That's if that's what it is.
This is Holly. So Bob Monroe previously provided webmaster services to the town. As of February of this year, it's all in-house now.
Okay. So
Well, all right, so the question is whether he or a relative was
I didn't even address the principal office of a business entity.
with respect to any entity listed in Appendix B or C.
Were you?
All right,
So
should we-
then Cumbo was either a salaried employee or a partner or director. No, he indicates he was a trustee for Bob Monroe, I guess. But then since Monroe's not doing anything for the town, I guess it really doesn't matter. I just didn't know what that was.
Yeah, neither do I. Should we ask for clarification or? Unfortunately, I don't have Appendix B in front of me.
Well, I mean, since Holly's telling us that Monroe's no longer doing anything, it's probably a moot point.
Okay. Mike, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a moot point since he's no longer doing business for the town. So.
Okay.
Phil, if I may, just one thought, and that is that, whether it is or is not a moot point, at least the name has been disclosed. And if there was any concern from any of the commission members, it would raise a red flag.
Okay. So,
So-
meaning,
So I'm saying whether you consider it a moot point. I'm not sure if it's an individual, how it really fits in there, how he can be trustee for an individual.
Yeah.
So.
I know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Unless he were, as an example, a trustee under some legal instrument, you know,
Yeah.
for the benefit of Bob Monroe. But
Okay, well, all right, so my feeling is he's revealed that he had some kind of he had trustee for the local government insurance trust through May of 2019, and that he was a member of the Maryland Municipal League until May 2019, and we don't see what role Bob Monroe has in any. Is Bob Monroe on Appendix B or C as a somebody who contracted with the town?
This is Holly. Did you want me to check that?
Yeah, would you? Because you'll find it faster than I can. Come on.
Yes, he is listed there as Bob Monroe, and we paid 6,000, almost 6,500. I'm sorry, $6,646 in the calendar year of 2019 to him.
Well, all right, I think if there's any problem with this disclosure is it discloses too much. I mean, he's not withholding any information about anybody that he was a trustee for. So if there's any concern about his relationship with Monroe as a person who got money from the town, he's disclosed it. Does anyone disagree?
No.
All right. Those in favor of finding that Mr. Cumbo's election disclosures are facially complete, not defective, indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no, the ayes have it. All right, next one is Johnson's election disclosures. Does anyone see any problems or have any questions about those disclosures?
I do, Phil.
Yes.
Okay. I note there are a number of properties listed here on different sheets, and not all of them identify the person from whom the property was acquired, nor do they identify if there in fact were a lender. For instance, on the first one for the Chesapeake Beach property, it's just that who'd you buy it from or otherwise obtain it from? A bank. I don't know if that gives the, I don't know if that's fully responsive. It does identify the mortgage holder. The next one.
Well, let's follow this up on the first one. Yeah, if it may make a difference whether he bought it from PNC or some other, what particular bank he bought it from, I suppose.
Well, and then there was another one where he just says individual.
Right. Yeah, I was going to go through them one by one, but you're absolutely right.
Good. Okay, why don't you continue? Go ahead.
Okay. Deal, the next one, Melbourne Avenue, does not identify who he bought or obtained it from.
Mhm.
And also does not identify any mortgage holders or lien holders, if there were any.
Okay,
The next one, Sterling, Illinois, again, does not identify who he bought or obtained it from, nor does he identify whether there are any mortgage holders. I see a line across the mortgage holder line item, and maybe that means that there was none. There were,
Yeah.
but at least it does not identify, who he purchased it or obtained it from.
okay, and for what it's worth, he has two different prices,
Uh,
12,000 and 40,000.
That was like 45,000,
Okay.
45. And I don't know whether that's the purchase price and then the fair market value, indicating that he purchased it for less than value.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay, and that's it. Let's look at the next one. Again, we
Next
have one.
This East 4th Street, Sterling, Illinois. Again, this was purchased from a bank.
Yeah,
Okay. And the mortgage holder is Citizens First, so that's identified, but the bank from whom he purchased it was not identified.
yep, okay,
The next one, Shadyside Property, again, purchased from a bank, and mortgage holders or lien holders not identified, if there were any.
yep,
Next one, I'm not sure where it is, it's 26th Street, but it doesn't say what jurisdiction, what locale. He purchased it or obtained it from an individual. That doesn't tell us much.
no, okay,
And
good.
then on the top, he needs to put yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you, Fred. Very,
Sure.
very good work. Should I will draft an email, to go to Mr. Johnson through Sharon, identifying these defects and ask him to very quickly, correct them.
Yeah.
And,
The one on 1304 East 4th Street needs a yes too. Sorry about that.
all right, I will draft it and circulate it so we can, everyone make sure we caught everything. I've forgotten, what's the deadline for?
22nd, I believe, isn't it?
Randy, what's 42 days before the election?
So I don't know off 42 days. Let's see, what was that one? That was hold on a second.
That would be 14 days from the 8th. Yeah, Ingrid is undoubtedly right.
Candidate's challenge deadline is the 22nd, yes, of September.
22nd is Tuesday. I guess the issue is when we should meet to review his supplemental submission. That day, that evening.
Why don't we meet before to give him, in case there's another defect, that give him an opportunity to get it in before the deadline?
Okay. What did they say?
How about the 21st?
Okay, and then, but we will all be available on the 22nd,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Would it be possibly better to have the next meeting on the 18th?
I'm
Yeah.
going to be out of town and in transit that day.
That takes care of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Could we do the day before the 17th? Ingrid? Is that?
I'm also out of town. I leave on the 15th. I'm gonna be kind of hopping around from spot to spot. So, I mean, I can make it work, but the 18th is the absolute worst day. That won't work.
Okay, but we could give him a deadline of the 18th to resubmit.
And then look at it. Yeah,
Meet on the 21st.
that would work.
Okay. Okay. Right, and by the way, I really appreciate the fact that Sharon already had him, corrected to the point of having a separate sheet of paper for each of these.
That's right. Sharon was on top of it.
Yeah, because that's, I assumed that would be our vote today, was to instruct him to do the 4 separate, and then well, so anyway, that's really helped great that he did it.
Phil, can I bring something up, please?
Please.
With respect to several of the incumbents, now just remember that this is the first time that I've looked at any of these. Normally when they're submitted each year, I don't see them, just the members of the commission see them.
Yeah.
But in looking at them, I noticed on 2 of them, the similar types of deficiencies as we saw today with Mr. Johnson's, in terms of not identifying who properties were acquired from. I don't know if that's something you want to go back on or just leave it be and deal with it in the future.
Okay, why don't we do this? Hold it for a second. Let's go through the Evans and Kersey, and then
Okay,
then erase what's your point?
sure.
Evans. Does anyone see any defects? Failure to provide necessary information?
I did not.
The real estate says who he bought it from. You know what? Oh yeah, it does have a price. Okay. Ingrid, do you see any problem with Evans?
No, I'm just trying to find it again. I did go through it before, and I did not see anything then. I was just going to do a quick check, but
Okay, yeah.
nothing jumped to mind, and I didn't note anything or write anything down either.
Okay. All right, those in favor of finding that the Evans disclosures are not facially incomplete or defective, indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Kersey. My page 178. Everyone has reviewed this, and does anyone see any facial lack of completeness or any facial defects?
No.
Not okay. All in favor of finding that it is not facially incomplete or defective, indicate by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Okay, and Fred is suggesting we look at least 2 of these of the incumbents. Which are they?
First, Mr. Fink.
Okay, where is he? 106. Okay.
And if you go to Schedule A,
Yeah.
there are 2 Schedule A's, and both of them, I'd say, for whom did you buy it from or otherwise obtain it from? Standard residential real estate transaction. Neither one identifies the individual or company from whom the properties were purchased.
Yep. Yeah, I think you are right. I don't know how we missed it first time around, but I think for election purposes, it's incomplete. I propose that we send Mr. Fink a message asking him to provide the name of the seller for both these properties.
I agree. I don't know how we missed that.
No, me neither. We
Hey,
said,
Fred, you're a franchise.
Okay, when you're ready to move on, I'll go to the next one.
yeah,
Okay, the next one is Mr. Morris. And
well, let me, hold on a second, let me find it. Okay, I got it.
okay, the first one I have a question about is 191 Audubon Road, Hedgesville, West Virginia. I think that's the second Schedule A.
Yeah,
Whom did you buy it from or otherwise obtain it from? Says custom log home built by Morris family. But at some point in time, somebody purchased the property from some third party, or he purchased it from some member of his family. But just to me, custom log home built by Morris family doesn't necessarily go to the question.
no, you're right. I mean, I would interpret it as that he bought the unimproved property and built a house. But I mean, none of this really makes sense. He says he didn't buy it or inherit it. I think maybe in his mind, he's thinking solely about the house itself as opposed to whatever he paid $500,000 for. So that should be clarified. Everyone agree?
Well, wait a minute, the 500,000 is the fair market value, right, Phil?
I'm sorry, the four.
425, that's the fair market value at this time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no,
Or wait a minute, no, it's at that time, you're right.
Yeah.
And what did you pay for it if you obtained it other than by purchase? What was the approximate fair value at that time?
And he's saying he did not buy it. So I mean, this needs to be clarified.
Yeah, I agree.
okay, then the next one, in Sleepy Hollow subdivision, Hedgesville, West Virginia. Again, nothing identified as to or from whom he bought or obtained it.
Okay, right.
And this he says he bought it. So apparently it was a building lot.
Yeah. You know, well, we can ask. You know, this gets back to one of the things I think is so idiotic. This is in West Virginia. There's no way whoever he bought it from, whatever he did in, what year did he say? He got 2005. The identification of who he bought it from can't have any bearing whatsoever on ethical behavior, as far as I'm concerned. But we'll ask him, and then we'll have to decide if he says he can't remember. Well, then we'll deal with it.
Those were the two that I had questions about, Phil.
Okay. Everyone in favor of communicating with Mr. Morris to correct the problems identified by Fred, indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no. The ayes have it. That takes care of that item on the agenda. The next is review of proposed revised training materials. Does anyone see any problems in the current edition?
I kind of had a list of nothing substantive, and maybe it'd be easier if I just sent an email and
Yeah.
CC'd everybody. It's, you know, it's capitalization. It's just stuff
Sure.
like that.
That'd
Is
be
that-
great, if that's
Okay.
okay with Mike.
Yep, that sounds good with me.
And I really thank Fred for twice identifying a blunder, and somehow my first correction of it sort of failed to do that. So
No problem,
thanks
Phil.
for getting that one.
Sure.
Okay, so now we are scheduling the next regular meeting. And all those, all right, the proposal is the 21st at 1 p.m. With the understanding that the corrections that we're seeking should be submitted to us by the close of business on the 18th. Right? All in favor of the 21st at 1 p.m.?
Sounds good.
Okay, without objection, so ruled. Comments by the commissioners and members of the public? Are there any? Hearing none. All in favor of adjournment? Well, yeah, before adjourning, does any member of the commission or the general counsel or our counsel have any comments?
No.
No,
Okay.
No, thanks for offering.
All in favor of adjournment indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no, the ayes have it. And thank everybody, Holly and Sharon in particular, for everybody having the patience. That I'm glad we are not having to start over again on Monday.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Weekend.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.
Yep. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.